Right now, joining us on the fan hotline, Mary Kay Cabot, as she does every Thursday. Hello, Mary Kay.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. Sorry we're a little bit late. We were talking to our now friend. We're friends with the guy now, Chris Castellani from Detroit. That's what radio does. It still brings people together in 2025. Mary Kay, big game coming up on Sunday. But let me ask big picture. Is it possible this rookie class, I don't know how many games this team's going to win, right? If they win 10 games, everybody's staying. But could this rookie class save Andrew Berry's job?
Well, I don't think Andrew Berry was on the hot seat to begin with, so I really don't think that he needed to have his job saved. I think that Jimmy Haslam kind of made it clear at the owners' meeting and maybe other places that they're looking at next year's quarterback draft as one that could really get things turned around for them. So I don't think Kevin or Andrew are on the hot seat this year, and I think that this draft class really is going to be amazing. So I just think it's the beginnings, as I have said before, of Super Bowl window 2, and I think you're seeing that on the field now.
Super Bowl window 2. Can you explain? Because you said that to us last week, and boy, that was met with some heavy pushback. Not by us, Mary Kay, we love you, but we had to ask that question. Go ahead.
Well, they were in their Super Bowl window over the last several years. It kind of came to sort of an end last year, I would say, when it became apparent that the whole Deshaun Watson thing wasn't going to work out and they didn't have the quarterback they needed to get there. So now they have to transition into Super Bowl window 2, and that's what they're doing right now. And that's what this class is all about. And that's what any acquisitions they have made in the offseason are about. And then when they get the quarterback, whether it be Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders or whoever it is, or whoever they draft in April, then they will be firmly in their Super Bowl 2 window, or at least headed to that point. And that's what this is all about. It's this class, this very large and talented class, is the foundation of the next wave of trying to get to the Super Bowl.
I don't. If the Browns hadn't have improbably come back in the final 3.5 minutes against what was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender in Green Bay, is Joe Flacco starting this week at Detroit?
It's hard to say. I'm sure they would have had to really given it some serious thought about turning it over to Dylan. And as I have mentioned before, it's not just about what your veteran quarterback is doing. It's about, is your rookie ready? And I think there's a lot of wisdom, at least in this organization right now, to letting the young quarterbacks sit and learn and figure out what an installation is like, pour over the game plans and see how that goes, so that you can know how to prepare for a football game. And sometimes just doing that for 3 or 4 weeks, just simulating being the starter, can get you ready for your opportunity. So I think that's part of it. I think they want Dylan to go through a few more weeks of what it actually takes to get out there and do this. And then, of course, you're dealing with some very, very good aggressive defenses. You're dealing with travel. You're dealing with the road. You're dealing with a trip to London. You're going into Pittsburgh. So there are a lot of factors involved here.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the fan hotline. What's going to help Joe see it better? Because I don't know. I know a lot of people are starting to blame the offensive line. People are trying to blame Kevin's play calling. I'm going, well, first off, Joe's a veteran. He's supposed to be able to handle such those things. Second of all, they're not taking enough shot plays. Well, a flea flicker with Isaiah Bond wide open is a shot play and a half. So I don't want to hear any of that. I just didn't think Joe was seeing the field that clearly on Sunday, and I think this is maybe the second game in a row. What's going to clear things up for him?
Well, I do think it was the second game in a row where he missed some things. So I do think you're right about that. And I think it's going to come with time. I think he needs more time on task with these guys. Remember, this is an overhauled offense. Once again, it's an overhauled offensive line in terms of blocking schemes, back to doing things that they did a couple of years ago. And it's a brand new running game. This was the first week that Quinshon Judkins had practiced fully with the football team, and they're still finding their way. And that's basically it. They're finding their way. And you have to have the utmost confidence in what you're doing out there to be able to make those explosive plays and completions. And certainly Joe and Jerry, they need to get their rhythm. They need to find their mojo together, and I think that will help tremendously. So hopefully they can get that going this week.
Yeah, you just wrote a piece about the lack of, I don't know if you'd call it chemistry or what, between Judy, who's supposed to be the number one and the one guy at wide receiver who's a game breaker for the Browns, and Flacco. What are they saying about it? What do you think is your gut instinct on what is holding them back?
I just think they need a little bit more time together to get to know each other a little bit better out there on the field. Joe did have sort of a natural chemistry with Amari Cooper, but when you look over the numbers and the stats, two of those defenses, those pass defenses that they played, were really, really poor pass defenses in those final two games. And in addition to that, there were some starters missing when they played in those games. So I think that they've run into some good defenses, especially Green Bay's pass defense was ranked 7th coming into that game, and now Detroit's is really good as well. They're about middle of the pack from a ranking standpoint, but this is a good pass defense. So it's not easy to go out there and learn on the fly and figure things out, especially when you're having issues at your tackle positions. You also have to really trust your protection if you're going to take the time or take that extra split second to try to make one of those explosive plays. You have to know that you're not going to get hit. So this is going to be a tough defense to get right against, but certainly Jerry and Joe, they're going to have to try to do whatever they can. I think some early touches for Jerry would be helpful to keep him really excited, motivated, fired up in the game. But you don't want to force it. You absolutely can't force it. And they have Joe playing a more conservative brand of football so that he's not throwing the picks. So he has to find that balance between trusting what he sees out there and not throwing a pick.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us here on the Fan Hotline. So, well, then I have to go back to something here where if Joe needed more time with Jerry or just needs more time with Jerry, then I guess I have to be critical of the 4 quarterbacks in camp, because I'm looking at a team where, boy, if you had more time, then maybe you're 2-1 instead of 1-2. I mean, every win is pivotal for this football team, and you probably beat the Bengals had they had been more on schedule, because he wasn't that bad. The offense, he wasn't that bad. The offense struggled, and if they had more time, we just have a better record, and we're not as fire and brimstone with this team.
Well, I agree with you on that. I mean, hopefully for the Browns, they learned the lesson that you don't want to be conducting a 4-way quarterback competition in training camp. You have to know who your starter is. He needs time on task, and you have to go out there and rep it over and over and over with the people that are going to be doing it in the first quarter of the season. Joe didn't have that, and especially he didn't have it in the beginning when he really wasn't slated to be the starting quarterback. They were really more focused on Kenny Pickett and then moving towards Dylan Gabriel at that time. So he was standing around a lot, and he wasn't developing that chemistry and that camaraderie. And now they're paying the price for that a little bit, but they're just going to have to get it as fast as they can.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us. I want to ask about that offensive line, which obviously is going to be in flux with the Dewan injury. It seems like Joel Bitonio can barely walk, yet he's out there playing. Meanwhile, Jack Conklin has a little elbow injury that is forcing him to miss games. What is going on with him? Are they going to be able to get him back?
Well, the thing with Jack, like Joel, these guys are incredible warriors, and they play so hurt that, I mean, you can't even believe what they have to go through sometimes to get on the field. And we've watched Jack really try to get out there. 2 weeks ago, we watched him practice, getting out there and doing a pregame session in Baltimore to see if he could play. And if those guys aren't playing, then they absolutely can't play. But he practiced on a limited basis yesterday, and hopefully for the Browns, he will be back because, of course, they're in a state of flux at both of their tackle positions right now, and that's just really not what you want when you're going up against Aiden Hutchinson and Muhammad, and these guys are really aggressive, and they're going to be coming after Joe.
Mary Kay, wish we had more time. We are pressed, though. We thank you so much for the time you were willing to give us. All the very best, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Mary Kay Cabot on the Fan Hotline.